Hello friends, it's your girl Alina coming to you live post-Thanksgiving in my little cozy sweater. I wanted to be cozy for this video, but in this video we will be talking about the top transits happening in December of 2024. I'll be giving you your personal forecast and a personal reading using tarot and oracle cards, so I'm really excited for that, along with some custom journal prompts so that we can align with these transits together, kind of prepare and just kind of check in. But before we get started, I wanted to mention that we've extended and intensified our end of year sale on the 2025 Auraline Astrology Planner Collection, all of which I personally designed. If you've ever felt overwhelmed trying to keep track of things like retrogrades, eclipses, and the shifting of seasons, or even just finding the right timing to set or initiate your intentions and goals, then this planner is your astrological lifeline. I created it along with our wall calendars to help you live with clarity and purpose, syncing your plans with the stars in ways that have completely transformed my life personally. Each planner is packed with tools like notifications for every major astrological event of 2025, new and full moon journal pages, and seasonal alignment guides. And it's not just for you. These planners make the perfect gift for the astrology lovers in your life. But heads up, some of our most popular colors, that being purple, rose, black, and cream, are already sold out and they are not being restocked. It's a small business logistical thing and it just is what it is, unfortunately. So do not wait, do not walk, run, and click the link in the description to grab yours and start aligning with the cosmos and your goals now. And last thing, we're doing a 12 days of giveaways over on the Auraline Instagram page this month. So be sure to follow us over there for a chance to win free products like planners, wall calendars, bundles, all that fun stuff. And with that said, let's dive into December's transits. All right, first up, Mars, the planet of action, energy, and drive, will be turning retrograde in the sign of Leo, which governs self-expression, creativity, and leadership. Now, Mars retrogrades are relatively rare, happening around every 2 years, and when they do occur, they tend to slow down our ability to move forward with bold action. And in Leo, a sign known for its fiery, courageous energy, this retrograde can bring potential challenges related to the ego, pride, and how we pursue our recognition. This is because Mars rules over things like our willpower, our ambition, and how we assert ourselves in the world. So in retrograde, Mars is really going to be encouraging us to reflect rather than take action, really redirecting our outward drive to be more inward. And with Leo ruled by the sun, it'll be amplifying themes of self-identity and performance. And so together, this Mars-Leo retrograde energy will be asking us, how are you asserting your individuality? Are your ambitions aligned with your true values? Or are they maybe ego-driven? Now, this transit can manifest as frustration or delays in achieving personal goals. However, it's also a pretty powerful time for recalibrating how you use your energy. Are you burning out by trying to prove yourself, or are you using your creativity in ways that feel genuinely fulfilling? Now, in terms of ways to align with this Mars retrograde energy, journaling on where you've been potentially overexerting yourself and meditating on your authentic desires can really help you with navigating these types of transits and retrograde transits with a bit more grace. Now on December 6th, Venus, the planet of love, beauty, and harmony, will be shifting into Aquarius, a sign very much associated with innovation, community, and independence. Now Venus governs what we value, how we relate to others, and even our finances. And in Aquarius, these themes become influenced by a desire for a bit more freedom, unconventional relationship shifts, and potential humanitarian needs. Now Aquarius, ruled by Saturn in traditional astrology and Uranus in modern astrology, is really this forward-thinking sign. It's about breaking away from the status quo and embracing things that are progressive and sometimes radical. And when Venus transits Aquarius, our focus can tend to shift from individual pleasures to shared goals. Love really takes more of an intellectual or platonic flavor, really emphasizing connection based on shared ideas over pure romance. So this energy will really be encouraging us to reimagine what love, friendship, and community might look like to us. How can you balance your individual needs with a sense of belonging to something bigger than you? And are you nurturing relationships that align with your values, or are you potentially clinging to outdated connections? Now, if these themes resonate with you and you felt this coming, some ways to align with this energy is to really lean into like-minded groups, brainstorming collaborative projects, or simply exploring how you can approach relationships with greater freedom. If you already feel like that's there for you, then that's perfect. Now, on December 7th, Neptune, the planet of dreams, spirituality, and illusion, will be stationing direct, ending its retrograde in Pisces, which is its home sign that Neptune rules. Now, Neptune's retrograde period can often feel like a sort of thinning of the veil, a time to see through illusions and get real about what we've been avoiding. So now, as it moves forward, it'll likely be inviting us to step back into inspired action. Pisces, as a mutable water sign, really encourages things like compassion, creativity, and emotional healing. And Neptune's rulership over escapism and fantasy can sometimes lead us to things like overindulgence in things like avoidance tactics. But directed positively, it can really inspire things like spiritual growth, artistic expression, and deeper empathy. Now, at the same time, Ceres, the asteroid representing nurturing and care, will be entering Aquarius. And this will be adding another layer of intellectual compassion, really focusing not just on our personal care, but on the collective good. It'll be this call to blend emotional understanding with more innovative action. Now, ways to align with these transits include using this time to create things like vision boards or a vision for your future that makes you feel both inspired and grounded. And practicing mindfulness practices like meditation or anything that gets you in the flow, like a creative process. Think about practicing something, whether it's a sport or an art form or an instrument. Next up, on December 15th, the full moon in Gemini will be lighting up themes of communication, learning, and adaptability. Now, full moons in general mark a culmination, and in Gemini, ruled by Mercury, the focus will definitely be on mental clarity and emotional understanding. Gemini energy is definitely very curious and social, making this lunation an ideal time for reassessing how we connect with others and process information. Now, this clarity will also be enhanced by Mercury, Gemini's ruler, stationing direct in Sagittarius on the same day. Now, Sagittarius is a fire sign ruled by Jupiter, really emphasizing exploration, philosophy, and big picture bird's eye view thinking. And that contrast between Gemini's detail-oriented approach and Sagittarius's expansive vision will really be asking us to find a balance. So, are you getting lost in the weeds of minor details, or are you neglecting the finer points while chasing big ideas? This full moon and Aquarius stationing direct will be giving you tools to align your thoughts and actions as you prepare for the new year. Next up, we see that Capricorn season will begin with the sun entering this ambitious, disciplined, and earth sign, coinciding with the winter solstice. Now, Capricorn, ruled by Saturn, the planet of structure and responsibility, will really be inviting us to take a long-term view at our goals. Now, the winter solstice, which is the shortest day and longest night of the year, is considered a very sacred time for rest and reflection. It's really this chance to honor the darkness, both literally and metaphorically, and to set intentions for the light's return. Now, this Capricorn energy at its finest is grounded, methodical, and focused on steady progress. So some ways to align with this shift can be to use this day to reflect on lessons of the past year and set intentions for 2025. A grounding ritual such as lighting candles and meditating on your goals can also help you with harnessing this energy and getting grounded in the present moment. It's also pretty relaxing. And the final lunation of 2024 will be a new moon in Capricorn, offering a cosmic reset as we prepare to enter the new year. Now, new moons are a time for planting seeds, and Capricorn energy is really asking us to focus on goals that require discipline and persistence. Now, Capricorn, ruled by Saturn, governs our ambition, structure, and achievement. It's a sign of the mountain goat, really determined to reach the summit no matter how difficult the climb is. And this lunation is really inviting us to think long term. What goals are worth your time and energy? How can you build a foundation that supports your aspirations? Now, ways to align with this energy can be writing down your intentions for the year ahead, focusing on what truly matters to you, and creating a plan to bring those intentions to life. Now, this can also be a great time to reevaluate things like your boundaries and commitments, really ensuring that they align with your highest priorities and you're giving energy to what truly matters. Now, I know we still have our journal prompts and our card pulls to do, but if you made it all the way to the end of the transit forecast, be sure to let me know by commenting 3 snowflake emojis below to let me know, or let me know what your holiday or end of the year plans are. And don't forget, the 2025 Auraline Astrology Planner Collection is selling fast, with some colors already gone for good. And our extended end of the year sale of up to 40% off throughout the site will be your last chance to snag the perfect astrology gift for a fellow astrology lover. And again, once they're gone, they're gone. So be sure to click the link in the description to shop now. All right, with that said, let's get into these December 2024 journal prompts. So what I'll do is I will read the prompts to you here. If you have your Auraline Astrology Planner for 2024, at the beginning of the month, there are dedicated areas to write intentions for the month ahead, and you can go ahead and write these out there. How has your approach to ambition evolved over the last year, if at all? Is there any part of your ego that you feel you might need to release in order to step into your more authentic power? As we close the year, what are 3 accomplishments you're most proud of? How can you create a supportive foundation for your 2025 goals? What would it look like to balance your ambition with your joy for the rest of the year? All right, y'all, now it is time for your personal reading. I will be pulling some tarot cards and some oracle cards. Ooh, a bunch just popped out actually. But there will be 3 groups. Each group will have a different word associated with it, and you can go to the timestamp connected with that word. So group 1's word is amethyst. Group 2's word is moon. And group 3's word is journey. I just let the words kind of flow to me. But go ahead and go to the word timestamped in the description box. Hello, hello, group 1. I'm going to start by pulling a tarot card for you. Let's see what pops up. What does group 1 need to know? Group 1, your first card is the 3 of Cups, which indicates celebration, friendships, collaboration, creativity, community, and happiness. This is a yes card, a 3 card, and it shows 3 people cheersing. So group 1, right off the bat, there's definitely an indicator that this month will be a time where you're noticing culminations, where it's very noticeable to you, whether it's on a personal level or you're celebrating with people. Oh, I've come pretty far there. I've come pretty far. And it's really cool. It's about community, celebration, happiness. And especially with the holiday season, there could be maybe some good news coming forward to you. But that definitely seems like a general theme, but let's keep going. Ooh, I'm pulling from the Oracle deck Journeys. Oh, the Soul's Journey. And the card I pulled is, interestingly, the Death card. Now, this card says, I am learning that endings are merely beginnings. Now, I think that that's really interesting because coupled with the celebration card, it seems like there will likely be maybe an ending to something that does call for celebration. What comes to mind is potential moves or shifts, maybe even a career shift, maybe not for you, but for someone in your life. But there's like an added weight to the holiday season this year in some way. Now, for any of y'all, sorry, I should explain this, but for any of y'all who don't already know, Whenever you pull an oracle card or a tarot card that says death on it, it doesn't always mean literal death. Oftentimes it means the closing of a chapter. Think of the winter season. In the winter, you see all the leaves fall from the trees, you know, all the shrubs, greenery, they're all gone. And that is a necessary form of death in order for these plants to grow deeper roots and draw their energy down. That way in the spring, there's even more life and flourishing. It's a necessary cycle, right? And in the same way, there needs to, for example, in terms of your job or something like that, there needs to be a death of a chapter, that being the ending of working somewhere, in order for a new chapter to be birthed, a new job to be there. In the same way, what also comes to mind for you all, group 1, is a death of habits or of a perspective or an outlook on something truly, truly changing. We have pretty notable planets changing signs. One of the most notable ones as of late has been Pluto entering Capricorn, entering an ending an 18 plus long cycle in many of our lives. And that process of shifting it takes some time. I personally have noticed certain depths when it comes to my perspectives of people and social dynamics, and a death of certain expectations of like, oh, if I act a certain way, then they'll do this. And it's the reality being like, no, you need to do your own thing. And having that death of that perspective and how I approach things has helped me to approach things differently, which has bred different results and helped me to end certain cycles. So that's what's coming up for this reading. Your next card is from the Moonology deck, and it is a mutable moon. And it says, nothing is set in stone. Nothing is set in stone. So group 1, what I'm getting here is that there's likely going to be a shift this month, but it's going to be tied to celebration. There's a lot of good from it. But if you are feeling like, oh my gosh, like there's going to be a change, the modality of being mutable in astrology is this indicator of being malleable, of imagine gas or water or clouds. They never stay in one structured form, right? They're always shifting and changing. Imagine the malleability of putty, right? Versus how set in stone a stone might be. What's happening right now is, it seems like in December, there's going to be pretty notable shifts, but there will be celebration. There will be acknowledgement. It's giving full moon energy in a lot of ways. And there's going to be some things that happen that, I don't know, it seems like it's going to be flexible. It's going to be flexible. It's not going to be set in stone in any way. There's going to be potential changes down the road, like in January, February, that's tied to this in some way. And so be mindful of that. Know that the door isn't completely shut fully. So those are the cards. I think I want to pull one more tarot card for y'all. So I'm going to do that. And the card is 3 of Swords, and it was reversed, but I wanted to see it upright. So as many of y'all know, 3 of Swords upright, and I'll show you, traditionally it shows the heart being pierced 3 times by a sword. Now upright, it's associated with heartbreak, loss, depression, betrayal. But when it's upside down, it indicates more internal betrayal, more internal things. So negative self-talk, optimism, but also moving on. And when I see the Death card as well, what I'm seeing is that group 1, you might have an experience in December where something happens and you are more than ready to move on. You're like, oh, I see this for what it is, and I am ready for the death. I'm ready for the change, and I'm going to move on in some way. What I'm also getting is just this breakthrough of self-talk. There's this breakthrough of like these cycles of like, you know, like somebody hurts you for the last time kind of thing of like, oh, I see this for what it is. That's what it's giving. But there's so much celebration. The other thing that I'm getting is that it's not all negative. There's this clarity of, you know what, thank you so much to this group of people, this environment, these people or whatever. Thank you so much for showing me the reality of this situation, because though maybe it hurts, or though I realize that I do need to move on, or maybe I'm realizing how much I've grown, I needed that information to know that to my core, that it's time to move on. Does that make sense? That's what's coming up for me. And again, mutable moon, nothing is set in stone. So it's just this indicator that there's a lot to celebrate here. This is actually a catalyst for you stepping into the new year in a different way than you ever have, because you're ready for the change. And yeah, it just seems like you're really moving on and breaking free from and releasing pain. That's the other thing that the reversed Three of Swords is associated with. It's freedom from pain as well. So thank you for coming on this ride with me as I interpret these cards for you, Group 1. And I'm wishing you a beautiful close to the end of the year. And I'm sending you my love. And I thank you so much for your support over 2024 and for enjoying these videos. Like, it means the world to me, and I just really appreciate it. So have a beautiful rest of the year. Hello, hello, group number 2. Let's go ahead and start with a tarot pull. The first card that I pulled for you is the King of Cups. King of Cups. Now, as many of you know, the cups in general in tarot are associated with the emotions. The king is this association with mastery. And so when we see this type of card, it indicates emotional balance, compassion, diplomacy, control, empathy. And the quote that's on this card says, "You need to support yourself before you can support others." So it's really this mastery of your emotions, of your empathy, of your energy in the month of December. I think that that's a really great way to start this reading. That in the month of December, there's going to be this grounded clarity that you start to hone in on when it comes to the necessary boundaries with people, environments, places that might be a bit too draining. And maybe you've already started to do these things, and December is when you're really reaping the benefits of it. You're realizing, oh my gosh, I can, by having these boundaries and wielding the power and force of my emotions and my intuition and my empathy, I am able to place all of that energy in much more efficient ways, and I can give it to the people that matter most. It's that leaky, empathetic energy that can sometimes lead us to come home and we're drained or we're irritable and we can't give love to the people who matter most because we're overthinking and we're just letting almost like our energy leak onto worrying about other people and things that are ultimately out of our control. And when we see this card, the King of Cups, it's this indicator that there's this honing of the powers that you wield. The ability to feel deeply is a superpower. And it's, in my opinion, our modern society that makes us feel like it isn't. But it's when we are able to really face those things and understand ourselves better, what sparks motivation, what triggers us in good or bad ways, those glimmers of possibility as well as triggers, what those things are, that we're able to wield them like a king. And so that is very interesting, group number 2. Okay. Especially if you're going home for the holidays, that's a great indicator. Wow. Okay. Group number 2, empathy, is the oracle card that I pulled next from the card deck, The Soul's Journey. And it says, I am open to seeing both sides of a situation. So again, this mastery, this indication of being able to wield your emotions in a way that maybe is new to you, or maybe you've been doing, but in December you're reaping the benefits of it. And I get empathy. It just definitely seems like this time of year is going to be a time where you are either giving or really receiving a deeper understanding, where there's this energy that is shared between you and others of feeling seen and feeling connected with. And it's in a way that just is not people pleasing or draining of energy, but you're realizing, oh my goodness, by me doing these things in alignment with who I am and what works for me personally when it comes to my empathy, my emotions. It's giving therapy. For many of us, it's giving therapy and feeling like the therapy is bringing a deeper level of clarity, of self-understanding. But it's also, it feels like it's indicating this deeper connection with yourself, this deeper empathy for yourself as well. That's such a key aspect of mastering our emotions, is understanding where we're coming from to begin with. What are the origins? You know, what is our inner child calling for in some way? Like, what are the deeper rooted feelings versus rationalizing and trying to figure out what everybody else is thinking, pulling back and getting in tune with, it doesn't matter what the motivations were if they hurt my feelings. That's the bottom line. I need to protect myself and hone my own energy and my emotions and feed into what is feeding into me, pour into who is pouring into me. Those are the things that are coming up. So that's very interesting. I'm going to pull from the Moonology deck. And the card that I get is first quarter moon. Your commitment is being tested. So the Moonology deck gives different phases of the moon, different signs of the moon, different modalities, things like that, different elements associated. And I pulled the first quarter moon. So the first quarter moon is the first phase, one of the first phases of the moon following a new moon. So imagine you're starting a new journey and it's brand new to you. So you're kind of getting your footing a little bit. And the fact that this is the first quarter moon, it's really indicating, again, this King of Cups honing of your powers in a lot of ways, having this deeper level of self-understanding, this deeper level of self-empathy, as well as empathy towards others in a way that feels like it is under your control versus not under your control, being leaky, being given to the wrong people, things like that. And with it being the first quarter moon, it seems like this month for you, group number 2, you will likely have experiences where, as the king of your emotions, the king of wielding these powers, you might be tested in some ways. But it's going to be through these tests that you grow your empathy for yourself and others, and that you're able to master your skills. You know, for many people who take on leadership roles, it's not simply given to them. I know, you know, kings and patriarchy type things, some people are born into it, but even in those situations, oftentimes they're challenged to see, are you strong enough? And it seems like in December you might have some situations like that, but ultimately there will likely be these themes where you're realizing, oh, I'm able to master that. Oh, I'm able to pick up on this energy and I don't feel like I've given too much of myself, or there's some level of control there and deeper understanding. So that is my reading for you, group number 2. I'm really excited to hear if this resonates with you. Be sure to comment below if you've already been picking up on these themes or what you are expecting to maybe tie to it in December. I think that'll be really interesting, especially with Mercury going direct this month. I think there's going to be a lot of clarity coming through, and it's going to be a lot easier to communicate what's going on in the inner world in a lot of ways. So I'm really excited for you, group number 2. With that said, I'm sending you my love and deep gratitude for your continued viewership and support and, you know, subscribing to this channel. And I'm wishing you a beautiful closing to 2024 and a beautiful start to 2025. Hello, group number 3. So the very first card that I'm pulling for you, ooh, interesting. It is 6 of Swords reversed. Now, let me just show you it upright so you can see the image. It's a man who is on a boat and he has swords on his boat and he's traveling. There's somebody else there too. Their head is down and it's cloaked. And upright, it's this card of transition, moving on, changing, leaving. But I pulled it for you reversed, which indicates personal transition, a potential resistance to change, unfinished business, and potential delayed plans. And again, I say that because upright, this is the card that's all about transition. And so when reversed, it can indicate a potential resistance to transition, potential hiccups, maybe even in travel. What I'm thinking about is like holiday travel potentially. So be sure to, you know, really check those things. But I also see that this card is associated with Mercury. And we know that for a portion of this month, Mercury is in retrograde, which does bring about potential hiccups with electronics, travel, communication, misinterpretations, miscommunication, things like that. So this, I definitely feel the need to tell y'all, be sure to double check your appointments, double check when you're supposed to be at the airport, triple check things like that. Make sure you're on the same page with coworkers, with collaborators, whether that's on a professional level or personal. Your ultimate collaborator for many of us is our partners or our children, people that we're in immediate communication with and living spaces with. So that is what I'm getting. But ultimately, at the root of this card is transition. And so December does seem like it could be a month of transition for you. But with that said, let's pull from the Oracle cards. I'm pulling from the Soul's Journey. Oh, I love this. And your card is Peace. And it says, I am a being of love and I release all negative energy. I don't know why that hit for me, but that really resonates. It seems like this month for you, group 3, is there'll likely be some potential inner resistance maybe to change, or like this inner, I don't know, just maybe a little bit of hiccups here and there, but ultimately it seems like you're going to have this stronger channel with the vibration of peace. Like there's going to be moments of peace in a lot of ways, and there's going to be a potential where it's going to be through maybe missing the appointment or there being a hiccup somewhere that it actually gives you an opportunity to pause and be like, you know what? I missed that, but I'm just going to sit here in peace for a second. Really tapping into that. That is what it's giving. The quote for the tarot card is, be mindful what you take with you when you move away from your problems. Ooh. It's making me think of Neptune's transit this month and the potential of escapism, group number 3. This potential of escapism of maybe there being a resistance to change. But what it also looks like for me, especially at the end of the year, is this really strong pull to rest. This really, really strong pull to rest of like, you know what? There's a lot going on and I'm going to take a step back, but let me pull a few more cards. I'm going to pull from the Moonology deck, which gives us different full moons, new moons, phases as indicators of what's going on. So this is a card that I pulled. I didn't even read it. Let me read it. Full moon in Cancer. Okay. Yes. Okay. Full moon in Cancer. A personal issue reaches resolution. So the reason why I'm like, okay, is that Cancer is really all about protection, fostering our safe spaces, really fostering what we associate with sanctuary, protecting ourselves, protecting the people that we love, the things that we love. And with this also being this tarot card of transition and of kind of moving away from things, or there being a resistance to things, group number 3, I think that there might be some themes this month, for better or worse. I'm going to pull a few more cards to find better clarity around this. I feel like it's for better, of fiercely protecting your peace. Fiercely protecting your peace and interacting with people that are also protecting their peace. And on one side of the coin, there's a lot of peace here. There is a lot of peace here where we are making the conscious decision, sorry, it's not focusing, of releasing negative energy, of not holding on to things. What I think of is that concept of let them. You know, that was like a trend on TikTok for a while. Just let them. You know, there's going to be people who are egoic, who are trying to push your buttons, or maybe not. Like there's just people. What I think about is like a car cutting you off on the freeway. It's one of those things where it's so clearly nothing personal because they do not know you. They're in their little metal box trying to act all tough on the freeway, right? And they're clearly going through something and they're clearly selfish, like they're having their own thing, right? But it cuts you off and it upsets you. In the same way, it feels like group number 3 in December, you're going to be tapping into that a lot more of like, you know what? I'm going to let y'all do that over there. I'm going to be over here. And there is so much power in that. So that's what I'm getting here. And the full moon in Cancer, again, it says a personal issue reaches resolution. Full moons are a culmination point. It's getting to the top of a mountain midway through a journey and being able to see how far you've come and celebrate that. And also be able to kind of wrap things up and let go of things that are no longer serving you. And so it definitely feels like there's going to be something coming to a close. Like maybe something that was really agitating you, something really pushing at you is finally relenting. It's not pushing as much anymore. There's this release of this power that something has over you in some way. That's what it's giving. But ultimately there's a sense of peace there. I'm going to pull one more card for y'all. I think I'm going to pull a tarot card. Ooh, and I am getting, let's see, 7 of Wands. Seven of Wands, and you see this man on top of all these other people trying to poke their wands at them, and he's got his stick and he's like, get down. He's got the higher ground. And it's associated with competition, protection, holding your own, and standing up for yourself. Y'all, group number 3, you're definitely going to be standing on business this month. You're definitely going to be protecting your peace this month. You're definitely going to be moving away from something. There's going to be some type of transition in some way. But ultimately, your issues, there's going to be issues that are resolved. And I think I just get this feeling of like, you've been working towards something, finding this peace, finding this balance in some way. And in December, you're going to be feeling it. You're going to be accessing that in a new way. So I'm really excited for you, group number 3. With that said, be sure to comment down below if this reading resonated with you and tell me what your thoughts are. But I just want to say thank you so much for your continued support over 2024 throughout the year. Like, so much has happened in my life personally, and hardly any of it could have happened without you, without your viewership, without your, subscription to this channel, without you supporting my work, my personal designs, making these Aura planners and wall calendars every year. And I wish you so much peace, love, rest, and divine protection in the month of December and throughout the new year of 2025. But with that said, I will see y'all in the next one. Okay?